welcome to today's video. My name is Ajane. For those of you who are new, I am a medical social worker and I work in an OB clinic. I kind of do like both OB/GYN, prenatal care, postpartum care a little bit. So yeah, I just wanted to do a little video of what it was like, or what it is like working in OB. I have the pleasure of working with different types of women every single day, but 95% of my work is usually dealing with moms who have SUD, AUD, OUD, anything under substance use. I meet with those patients. I work at a specialized clinic and we assist them with anything that they might need. So whether that's medicated assisted treatment, which is like any form of Subutex, Suboxone, and Methadone. We do not administer look at that. We do not administer any methadone here. There are specific methadone clinics in my city that they have to go and get that. That is daily until they have reached a longer period of time of getting the methadone, and then they get take-home doses. But typically they only get take-home doses on the weekend when the methadone clinic is closed. And then for pregnant moms, we give them Subutex, and then when they're postpartum, we give them Suboxone. Suboxone can also be given to moms during pregnancy if they don't tolerate well with the Subutex. So yeah, those are the options. With getting this medication to help with like cravings and withdrawal symptoms, it is encouraged, and it's a part of getting that you have to engage in some type of treatment or counseling or both. So usually they do a lot of groups. They have to be engaged in groups. They have to have a counselor and additional support, maybe a peer specialist. Maybe they meet with a counselor twice a week, and or they can do groups as well. So it can look different. It can be tailored to each specific patient, which is really nice. But for generally, it's some type of group and or a counselor. So most people have to have a counselor when dealing with MAT. I just wanted to also say that it's Subutex, Suboxone, Methadone during pregnancy, and then Vivitrol is an option that they can explore after they're done delivering and having the baby, and after in postpartum period. Okay, so working in OB is definitely unique. I have worked in this job, I just found out, almost 5 years. I started in 2019 and it's currently 2022, and I have some stories to tell you, and I am not in any rush to get pregnant. Let's just say that I love kids, love them. Do I want to be pregnant right now? No. But it's definitely an experience because I work in a specialized clinic, and then I also work over at the clinic with moms who don't necessarily have SUD or AUD or anything like that. They might just be high risk, or this might just be a typical pregnancy where they just go in for prenatal care, but they might have needs of like needing shelter or resources for food and things like that. So social determinants of health and things like that. So we go over that, and then if they have any needs, then they get a referral for a social worker, but it's not necessarily always for SUD when it comes to me. So working in an OB clinic, I have done a video of who's actually in my clinic, and I believe since I made that public, it's been some changes. So we now have a counselor and a peer support specialist on campus, like in our office, that meets with the patients and can provide them services. But what it typically looks like is that it is a normal OB. Like we do OB, that's first, and then we, in collaboration to the prenatal care, we do management of their substance use disorder. So we go over any cravings, any withdrawal, any concerns that they might have in regards to any relapse or potential or exposure to use. And so we try to problem solve, and that's where I come in as a social worker to help with any barriers or obstacles that might be preventing them from initiating care or treatment or getting into residential treatment or outpatient services and things like that. So I help navigate that. I help them explore what would work best for their current situation, their housing situation. I also help with getting and obtaining baby supplies and items, making referrals to like diaper banks and things like that. And that's really helpful for a lot of patients because it takes a lot of that stress off. But we help them with just like getting that sobriety under their belt if they're not already currently in sobriety, and getting them the tools and the equipment that they need in order to be successful and to really be the best mom that they can be, to help assist grow their baby and or to be the best mom postpartum. So we want to make sure that we manage that. Full transparency, we do disclose that we will hotline, because if there's any use of illicit drug use or mismanagement of any controlled substance, we have to make a mandated report to the state. Although marijuana is legal in my state, it's still a federal law that we have to make a mandated report. Now, they don't necessarily take away or remove a child from their parent or their home in the event that it's just positive cannabis, however, they want to continue to provide services. And I also want to say that they do it for data. So that is something that we help navigate, that we help explain to them, that no matter wherever you go, no matter what hospital, you're going to get our Children's Vision Report, but it's best to come to our hospital because we'll be able to assist with that and like give them education, the Children's Vision worker or staff, education on what's going on. Especially if we've built a report, we're able to give them the changes, the development, the growth that you've had during your time at our clinic for prenatal care. So we want to do our best to help, and so they do ultrasounds here, they do Dopplers, NSTs, they do blood work, and we treat other pregnancy symptoms. So it's not just MAT, it's like the full-blown pregnancy. We make sure that baby's doing well. We work in collaboration with the hospital and taking care of those babies because they're considered NAS. And we do our best to, or opiate exposed babies, substance exposed babies, to make sure that we're able to help manage their withdrawal symptoms from illicit and or substances that we provide for them. So that's that MAT, that's that methadone and that Subutex Suboxone that we help manage, make sure that the baby's getting the best treatment that they possibly can and, thriving healthy. So there's some things that we do suggest. We encourage mom and dad and or whoever is the guardian for the baby to be in the hospital as much as possible, to continue to care for the baby as much as possible, because these babies will be a little bit more demanding. They will need a lot more attention and care, a lot more skin to skin, because they're going through withdrawal. So you have to have a little bit more empathy towards these babies, even though their screams are like more high pitched. They have tremors, jittery. High-pitched scream is a part of that. Not being able to be consoled after a certain amount of time, like a time limit, if they're not able to be consoled by the skin to skin or the burping and the feeding. Some babies also have trouble with feeding. So there's like skills that help measure if or how a baby is going through withdrawal. So there's no specific way to tell what the baby is withdrawing from. If a baby is going through some pretty severe withdrawals and not the dark room or the quietness or the skin to skin, consoling the baby, providing them with their needs, if that's still not working, then babies have the option of, babies are given morphine in order to help manage with some of those withdrawal symptoms. And we do encourage our parents to stay up at the hospital, like I said, and continue care for the baby, because that is truly the best medicine. And it's been proven and it's been tested that keeping the baby with a guardian or family member or their mother helps them recover faster. So yeah, so working in an OB clinic is definitely fun. It's definitely interesting because you're already dealing with hormonal pregnant woman, but then when you add another layer of substances, it does make things a lot more complicated. But it definitely shows you that, well, it's probably going to keep going. So there's definitely, it's clear that substances is a real life thing, that substances do cause people to continue to use. Like, these moms want to have healthy babies. These moms want to have babies without substances in their system. These moms want their babies to not have to go through severe withdrawal or complications after or during in utero. But the disease is strong and it is difficult, and no matter how much they want to, sometimes moms aren't successful in abstaining or maintaining sobriety. There are some moms who just give up and who don't see the light at the end of the tunnel, that they can maintain sobriety or achieve sobriety, or even cut back use, and so they continue to use and just kind of like surrender at labor and delivery when Children's Division is involved. And there are just other extra layers if the father of the baby is using as well, and mom is trying to get clean, and then the dad comes here and he still looks like he's using, or he admits that he's using, and that's stressful for the mom to maintain or try to achieve sobriety when her partner is still currently and actively using. And we do our best to try to help the dad as much as possible, but our focus is on mom and baby, and they're not our patients. So although we try to give them resources and avenues to use for themselves, sometimes it's difficult because our moms, if they're still in a relationship with the FOB, they want to be attached to them and want to stay with them, because a lot of treatment centers do not allow couples to stay together, or they separate them, and that is not something necessarily that the couple at the time wants to do, even though it's going to benefit both of them and also benefit their child in the end if both parents are able to maintain or achieve sobriety. And it's just also hard for one person to maintain sobriety if their partner who they love and care about and currently living with is using and still in this lifestyle, and that's triggering, and you're not really putting yourself in the best situation to be discharged home with your baby if you're living with a partner who is currently using and or has drugs in the home. So we go through all of those things. We try to help navigate some of their stressors, some of their barriers, help them with just understanding some of their options and just being transparent and honest with them about what some of the outcomes would be. We can never determine or know what the outcome of discharge will be, or what severity of withdrawal the baby will have to go through until we get there, until we're in that moment. And that's hard for a lot of patients to come to terms with, is that we don't know, and that it's kind of like up to the state to make that decision of where the baby is going to be discharged, and or also then if they want to try to gain custody back or get their children back in their care, they have to go through all of these mandates that Children's Division and the state has required of them, whether that's going through drug court or providing random urine drug screens to get into treatment and maintaining that treatment plan up until a certain amount of time. It could be several months, it could be a year, depending on how the mother or the father go through that process. And so we just try to help navigate that while also dealing with the normal layers of being a pregnant mom, of being postpartum mom, and dealing with all of the natural things that come with being pregnant, and also the natural things of being postpartum, and having these extra layers of stress of Children's Division involvement, family involvement, hospital involvement, longer stays. These babies don't get discharged like 2 days like typical babies do. These babies have to be observed for 5 to 7 days for any withdrawal and or management of their withdrawal symptoms. And so that's a minimum stay, and it can be longer, and some parents aren't used to that, and they have issue with their baby being here this long, especially if it doesn't seem like their baby's going through any withdrawal. But we help navigate that. We try to do a lot of mood management as well. So our nurse practitioners and our MDs can prescribe mood medications. And also we have a psychiatrist in-house that will meet with the patient and prescribe any medications after she's done her assessment and intake, and they create a plan. And then afterward, if the patient is wanting to transfer out postpartum and or she's at that 6-week visit, I help try to manage them with another psychiatrist outside of this house, because they're no longer pregnant. And we do allow some patients to stay postpartum, but they have to be under a certain criteria in order to fit into that category. But it's definitely interesting. It's definitely fun to see some of the babies that we've had. I've seen the mom pregnant and then deliver, and then the baby's 2 years old now, walking around here talking, and it's so weird that I've been here that long to see the development and growth of some of these kids. But it's truly amazing to see some of their moms and their families thrive. And some of our moms initially are very upset about the decision and or the report that we've had to make in order to make, you know, we're mandated reporters, and some of them have come back and there's like, that was the best thing to ever happen to my family, because I've been able to maintain my sobriety, get clean, find good support, and I'm able to work my way up into getting my kids back, and or they have already gotten their kids back. And so there's definitely some success stories, there's definitely some sad stories, some challenges and some difficulties of working in this field. And it's not always easy. It's not always rainbows and pregnant women and newborns and toddlers, you know, in the clinic running around and all happiness. There's been deaths due to exposure to drugs in the home. The parent left the drug out or relapsed and didn't ever let us know. And then we get a call that the baby has passed away, and or co-sleeping situations. And so there's some negatives to this job. It's definitely difficult, and whether you work in a clinic and or hospital like I do, you're going to have challenges and you're going to have difficulties of moms being diagnosed with, you know, cancer or certain diseases that's difficult for them to process, or moms leaving or families leaving the hospital and leaving the baby. So I just wanted to say thank you guys so much for watching the video. If you guys have any questions or you want me to answer anything specifically or create a video about something about my line of work, working in a hospital, some challenges, some difficulties, some of the good things, some of the benefits that I've found for me and myself as a professional, I would be happy to do that for you guys. I hope that you guys are doing well, and I'll see you on the next video. Until then, keep safe, be sane, and do your best, because that's all that matters at the end of the day. And yeah, I'll see you guys next time. Bye.